You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona, and with me always are my good friends,
Jay from the hills of Texas.
And AK Mike in Texas.
And we are excited because we got a special guest on today.
Far away. In the future.
Yeah, so Tim, I know he's in the future. Tim let the cat out of the bag last time.
Tim.
I know, right? Darn him. He didn't know, but he asked us if he could let it out of the bag. But yes, tonight's episode, or this morning's episode, I guess, we have AJ from ZOHD and Sonic Models. So he's standing by in the wings, so we'll get to him in just a second. But we have some really, really good news. We are going to try this out. And as a result, we hope that as a listener, you will participate. We're looking for some participation. But we kind of let it out of the bag last week as well in the form of we now have a valid phone number.
A valid number?
I was going to say a valid number. What's that mean,
Well,
man?
you know what I mean.
How about a hotline? We have a hotline to our listeners.
Hotline. Yeah, that's good.
First time on the radio or doing
Hotline.
podcasts. Yeah, I have a valid number. Call me anytime.
That's right, we do. All right. So, anyway, when you hear this podcast, copy this number down. Area code 830-444-4943. That is the Park Flyer Podcast hotline. It is brand new. If you have comments, suggestions, or you just want to yell at us about Escape versus ESC.
I'm going to say escape. Maybe cause someone to call.
Awesome. But please give us a call, 830-444-4943. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know how we are doing, or if you would like to hear about something. And then, maybe we can get back in touch with you and have you on the show.
Hey, does that spell out Park Flyer Podcast?
No.
No, unfortunately,
I
don't
worked.
think it does.
I worked hard at trying to find a number that I could get that had something we could, that would be, Park Flyer or something. And yeah, I just couldn't do it. Maybe if I might try a little harder on that, so we may change that number. But I like that number because I like it. 830 Texas 444-4943.
That's true.
So
444-4943. Yep.
Yeah, 444.
Kind of rolls off your tongue.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Okay.
Well, we will post that number again on our Facebook listeners page, and we'll try to put it on our bottom of our email too as one of the headers.
That's a great idea.
But yeah, please give us a call. Let us know what you're doing. Give us some ideas of what you'd like to hear about. And I guess technically, as Jay said, it is our hotline.
So one of the things I'd like to throw out there to the audience is I like the idea that they call in and maybe even we interview them, so that
that's true.
That the whole idea, really, from my perspective, would be that they call in and say what they want to talk about. Then we call them and have them join the podcast. I mean, that's what I think would be really great, and I'm hoping that listeners feel the same way.
I hope so too. Well, we will see, because we just put it out there. Phones are ringing off the hook right now. Our switchboards are lighting up.
That was me, Mike. I was calling.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
You were calling.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Well, I'm excited about our guest tonight. He is, or this morning, or whatever it is. I always say tonight because we usually record this at night, and then it comes out in the morning. But he is the marketing director for ZOHD and Sonic Models. Been going back and forth for him with a little bit, but this is kind of exciting to have him on.
Right.
So let's get to it.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, our special guest tonight is Ari Garcia. We're going to call him AJ for the rest of the podcast. That's what he said his American friends call him. So he is the marketing director at Sonic Models and ZOHD. Is that how you say it? ZOHD?
ZOHD, yeah.
Yeah, ZOHD. All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, AJ.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. And Jay, Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to join you. This morning for me, this evening for you.
This is true. Yeah. So you are physically located in China, right?
I'm in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you were actually tomorrow.
I'm in the future. Yes. I'm physically based in China because what I do is around here, so I kind of need to be around here.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, we totally understand that. And this is during the kind of the viral shutdown. You're doing okay over there, and your family's doing well.
It has been really complicated. I mean, exactly the same as in the rest of the world. Probably the thing that you can feel here is that not the media is the coverage of the media is not so transparent.
Yeah, that makes
maybe
sense.
is the word. So
sure.
you have a feeling that it was lighter, the situation,
Right.
but actually it's not, and actually it's not over at all. The thing is also that this started like earlier here, so we already went through all the lockdown and the craziness that's not right now the more or less the rest of the world is going. But now we are all like fearing a second wave that it seems is going to come very soon. So I think it's a global thing, and at the same, more or less at the same level. I don't think there's a safe haven or especially not in Asia.
Yeah, no doubt. So how did you get affiliated with Sonic Models? Now, does Sonic Models and ZOHD the same company? Are they two different companies, or are they parent companies?
That's a long story. I will give you a quick background, so maybe guys, how this. Actually, we don't talk much publicly, so this is a very good chance for us to let you know, only your audience, but many other people that maybe had some questions about how the company works and how it's made. I joined the company around like almost 3 years ago. The company was already running. There are many companies Sonic Model style in China, without mentioning them, but most of the kids, or even some of the big brands, they are not Chinese, let's say. The products are made in companies that are based in China. So the big difference was that I had the chance to join the company. Back then, I used to have a YouTube channel. I wasn't super famous, but the content was pretty good. And through that YouTube channel, I got to meet the owner of the company, let's say. And from there on, we start working together some ideas. I'm a marketing guy for trade, let's say, and I've been doing cross cultural marketing and international marketing for other industries. I've been flying RC planes since I remember, since I got enough money to buy one. And so it was always it was always there, but I really never worked in the industry before, which gave me some kind of a fresh view regarding how to do marketing. They offered me to join them and to work initially in the marketing and social media for the West, especially that is where most of Chinese companies have the hardest time, to really convey the message to the Western world regarding their products, or we are doing it because it's a cultural barrier, it's a cultural barrier. So I was pretty interested to join them, and Sonic Models and ZOHD are the same company, but it's two different brands with two different teams developing the products and etc. The only thing that is common is the marketing for both. I mean, the marketing team, even though if we use a different approach for each brand. I was already in China with other projects, and I think kind of start separating the company from all the others because of the way not only we started doing the marketing back then and we keep doing it, but also for the way that we started developing the new products since I joined the company. Not because of me, but maybe I bring some kind of virus into them on how to change the way of thinking, and the way of thinking the markets, let's say. So, and the rest is history. Yeah. several models after, and yeah, we except for the current situation that the virus is really, I mean, hitting every single industry now,
sure.
all the hours. But except for that, we can say that we have done pretty good, yeah, lately.
Well, I know that both of our guys have some of the models that you guys have. The
Yeah, I can see Jay has something there in the bag. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have the ZOHD Orbit I have back there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm pointing.
It's a little further over. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it's a little further over that way.
That way.
Yeah, man.
There we go. That way. Off of the camera, you can't see it, but I also have AR wing, a mini AR wing. So yeah, I'm a little familiar with your products, and I'm really enjoying them. Although I have to say, the one that I think is really special is the Orbit.
Well, sometimes we don't realize, yeah, how much the products have been spread, you know, because we just a couple of minutes before we start talking, let's say live, we were talking with Michael regarding that FPV is kind of a niche, you know, it's not like the mainstream RC. It turned into kind of after, but to me, FPV is still like some very particular corner of the RC world, you know. Not I'm coming from the time that where we were flying in 72 megahertz, you know. I mean that time. So I'm way before all this hype of the FPV quads and racing quads and everything, right? Which to me is another tribe completely different from the RC pilot.
The night and day between the two cultures, between guys who are racing drones and doing that kind of FPV work, and then, you know, like you said, guys who are just traditionally flying planes.
Sure. I'm you know, you remember, guys, much better than me, that I'm coming from a time where building the thing was probably 90% of the fun, you know, and then probably 10% of the time you just spend it flying and crashing it
and rebuilding
again and so on. Right. So actually, I did get into multi-rotors initially when you need to build your own frame with wood, you know, and all that stuff, and use gyros there was no flight controllers or anything like that. And then when it got a little more like mainstream with DJI and all that stuff, I kind of left the multi-rotors aside. But I mean, I still use them, but not more as a tool and not as enjoyment, let's say. But it has nothing to enjoy actually to fly a Mavic, you know. But in my perspective, of course.
So you were mentioning that you do. You said you flew quads. Was that something that you just kind of did, or have you always flown quads?
I started at the very beginning of them, you know, like when you really have to flash your own ESCs, you know, because there weren't any special like multi-rotor designed ESCs, and we used like individual gyros, one for the yaw, one for the pitch and roll, one for each. Let's say you have 3 gyros, and it was impossible to fly. Actually, we were crashing more than flying, but it was incredibly good, you know, experience. The motors were not coordinating in any way. It was just just to try to keep it in the air. That was a challenge. Right. Yeah, right. That was a challenge.
So they've come a long way since then.
Well, it's been because I'm talking about maybe 2009 was that, or maybe 2008, 2009. So it's been more than 10 years, and well, now it's insane. I mean, the amount of tech and how fast the things have developed in that area, it's insane.
Right.
And you can have a tiny whoop with HD video today that can fly 20 kilometers, you know, and look you through the window, you know. That's insane. I still widely prefer to fly fixed wing planes, you know, fixed wing aircrafts. Yeah. I think it's that's where the at least my little heart lives, you know, in that area.
Right. So the way that we got hooked up with AJ is that he actually posted on our Facebook listeners group. There was something going on, and somebody, one of our listeners, had posted an ad that you guys had put out on these new Lion pack batteries.
Yes.
And you kind of made mention that it was this new technology, or not really new technology, but it's just this new product that had come out on the market. And so one of our guys actually got into this conversation with you, and I picked up on it. And I'm like, hey, well, why don't we have AJ on and have him explain a little bit about the Lion Pack? So this isn't new technology. It's just older technology that's been updated, is from what I understand.
Exactly. Yeah. I will give you a little background regarding the batteries. Actually, we started, the company initially never got into any electronics, right? And well, one part of this reform that I got the company into is to start developing some electronics, because we do have the people with the knowledge and the experience to do it. It's just that before they didn't have the confidence to or how to plan an electronic product that is completely different than just a phone playing, right? Through that, we developed many things like the kits, and for example, for the neon, the orbit neon that Jay has there in the back, and then even a flight controller called Copilot, and then we got into the batteries, because these batteries, the cells that we're using there called 18650, have been in the market for a long time. The problem with these batteries is to find a cell that is not going to explode in your face, let's say, or is going to perform.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Or is going to perform in the way you expect. No, that's the truth. I mean, for every good one, you find 1,000 that are completely fake and a complete ripoff. Even to us, I mean, I don't know how many I've bought and how many companies I got in touch with until we find the supplier that has something that is legit and that can really work. But eventually we got, after all that pain and tears and blood, we get in contact with this company that manufactures this. I mean, they manufacture for everything, like e-bikes and whatever else. But it's very high. I visited the factory. They have a very high standard for everything, from the packaging to the QC to everything. So it kind of fit the bill of what we were needing. And then what we wanted to do, because except for some small companies around the world, there wasn't a company that was making these packs massively or widely available to the pilots. You need to buy the cells on your own, maybe Banggood or whatever else, and try to solder them, and if you're lucky enough and it doesn't, it didn't explode in the process, you will end up with a pack that is going to look terrible, but it's going to work, let's say. And takes a long time unless you have like a proper welding machine, the electrical one. You need to solder with tin, etc. It's a pain. It's a pain. We've been doing it, and it's a complete pain. We set a very, very nice environment to create these professionally made packs, and to make them available at a reasonable price and with a warranty, with something that you can say, well, I'm not buying this, in the black market, and God knows how it's going to go.
Right.
So yeah, those are the Lion packs, and they're selling really well. We so far we have a 2S model, a 3S, 2S 1P, 3S 1P, and then in 4S we have 1P and 2P that it's let's say what would be equivalent to 3,500 in 1P and 7,000 in 2P. But I think what I'm talking about. And those more or less match all our models, our planes. So, let's say in 80% we cover all our planes, and they are good for any other models too.
So do you have 2200 batteries?
I knew that was coming.
3-cell 2200.
I have a box full of them. If you want, I can send you.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's my yeah. I used to have more 2200s than underwear until they start puffing up, and it's a need to get rid of them.
No doubt.
The 2200, let's say the 3S 2200, that is the golden brick, let's say, for most of our RC pilots. The one that the 3S that we have right now, 3,500.
It's 3,500. Yeah.
Yeah, 3,500 is the one that more or less would match. It's much smaller than a 2,200 pack, a bit lighter, but it's more dense. The energy.
So you're saying it's the same size as a 2,200 currently?
It's a little smaller. Like 3,500 is a little smaller.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I mean, that works for me.
The mic is like a little thing. It's like grabbing it. Oh, give me. It's like a kid.
I mean,
yeah. No, we'll see you over some guys.
It's really about the power, right? And so if it's a 3-cell and it gets 3,500, then that's just more than what I need for what I would use the 2,200s for.
Correct.
So not only that, it saves me from possibly puffing it up on motors that would normally puff it up just because of the more amperage that's available. So
that's correct.
That would work. If it's the same size. The challenge has been trying to get a 3,500. It would be too big or too heavy. And if it's lighter,
definitely.
Yeah, and if it's lighter and the same size or smaller, well then, I'm all for it. Then I go back and I'll go to, well, do you have a 3,500 in the 2,200 size?
So how long can you fly with that 3,500?
Well, that's the catch here is that these batteries are particularly good for our models because our models are not sport models. Like something that you're going to fly really, with high amperage.
Right, like a 3D or a 6-cell model or something.
Now, if you're thinking of an EDF or something like that, just forget it. These batteries are not for that because the discharge rate it's way lower than a LiPo, let's say. If you're flying, let's say, under 20 amps, anything that flies under 20 amps doesn't necessarily need to be an FPV plane. It could be any kind of plane. Like even we have some customers and friends that are flying like some warbirds that they have like slow kV motors, like 800 or 1,000 kV motors. For those that are pulling less than 20 amps, those are ideal. And now going into our particular planes, in something like the AR wing, you can get up to 70 or 80% more flying time for the same battery. So it's insane. Literally, we are most of the time getting bored before actually we need to land. Which I never thought I would say that, but yeah, it's like you used to squeeze until the last volt, of the battery because you're having such a volt that you don't want to land, etc. Say, well, this is the other way around. It's like you just landed, man. Like, whatever. I'm sick of. It never gets to the point that you have. Because electric fly was always that the problem, right?
Yeah, sure.
The fight time. Right. It's like, well, 5 minutes. It's not enough. With these batteries, if you're thinking in something that pull the right amps out of the system, these batteries are the way to go. Definitely.
Yeah. So, did you make them specifically for the airplanes that you have in your line, or did you just did they put these together for just any? Like they, you mentioned something earlier about that they had never done batteries before. Now they jumped in. So did they jump in because of the aircraft line, or did they just decide, oh, we should do this battery?
The truth is that I think we mentioned that at some point on some of our Facebook posts. The truth is that we were using them personally. The company was using them all the time. We replaced most of our LiPos for a safety reason, for even a cost reason, So we were using it for about a year before we start. What give us so much confidence in these packs because we were using them for a long time before we start kind of putting them out, for selling. I think it started all with thinking on our own planes, and those models were developed. For example, the first model that we I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
I have one here. This is 4S 1P that it's 3500, right? So this was the first one because one of our let's say most popular planes is the Nano Talon, right? And this fits perfectly. Nano Talon, I can keep you in the air over an hour and a half if you manage to throttle, etc. Just you take one of these to the field and that's it, and then you go for your lunch.
Holy smokes!
No need for
an hour and a half on that one battery.
Yeah. It's insane. Well, especially when you fly FPV. I mean, maybe Jay will know that you're not kind of racing. Yeah. It's just you're cruising around and gliding a little bit and etc. But still, I mean, still 1 hour and a half.
That's cool. I need that kind of time to figure out how to do my FPV stuff. So, I'm flying around up there. Oh, that didn't work. We got to go around again. That didn't work. We got to go around again. But so that battery wouldn't really fit though in my mini Talon, right? It's a little big, like a little big.
For the mini Talon, the XUAV mini Talon, let's say that is not one of our products. Actually, we have a battery that will fit very well. That is this same battery, the 4S, but it's double the size because 2P, and it's 7,000. And that will keep, because the mini Talon is a pretty efficient plane. I mean, it's been in the market for long, and that proves that.
Yeah, it's a great plane.
Sold millions of pieces. So that proves that it's a great plane, and it's very efficient. It has a very good design for efficiency, let's say, and that battery will keep it forever. I don't even dare to try to test how long it's going to be in the air, because it's going to be a long time for sure.
But yeah, I'm a real fan of the mini Talon, because I like the fact that you can take it apart, put it back in the box, put it in my suitcase, and take it where I'm going. I don't have to worry about it breaking or whatever. The box is nice and sturdy. I keep the bubble wrap around it. It travels really well, and I really like that about it.
Yeah, that was kind of always the philosophy behind ZOHD. I mean, if you see all the models are all of them are mostly aimed for being easy to transport. You can really literally, whether it's magnets or screws or whatever, you can take the wings apart and patches and everything, and you can. Almost every plane in the ZOHD line is a backpack plane, which that was the goal from the beginning. To have something that is portable. Nobody wants to be walking around with a 1.2 meter wingspan.
Wait, what? I strap a 1. It's a 3 meter glider.
Except you guys. No, I know you fly it. I mean, you fly the real deal, guys. We're talking about toys here.
No. It's funny you say that, because I don't own a ZOHD like these guys do, but I have literally flown both of their products.
Sorry, I cannot speak anymore with you, Michael. So I will speak on the
Well, but both of those guys were able to transport. They jumped on a plane and came up here to Arizona, where I'm at, and they both brought their Talons, and I was able to fly both. And I'm telling you, it's a really, really nice flying airplane. I did not, it was kind of small.
It's a funny plane to fly.
And once you get it kind of figured out, it's fun to fly.
It's good fun.
I mean, it's nice and slow. We brought it up to the, every year in Arizona, we have an Arizona Electric Festival, in February, and Jay or Mike they both brought theirs up. And we literally just cruised around the Electric Festival the whole time. It was very convenient and very fun for us. So
I think and maybe, I don't know if you have for you and your audience, if they have time to check, we have not so long ago a new website which features all the products very, very clearly. It's ZOHD.net. Of course, your audience is not going to be able to see this, but. So we were talking about the Nano Talon. There is this guy. I don't know if you can see. Maybe it's too small, but as you can see, we since then that Nano Talon is kind of one of the first planes that the company launched. But now we have an updated version that is called Nano Talon Evo. That is in the bottom there, bottom right. But then we have some pretty good performers like the Talon GT Rebel that is on the left. in the bottom left, or in the top corner here on the right, the Dark Excel. Those are mean FPV machines. They're not like so much of a cruiser, I mean, those are really has very powerful motors, and the design it's much more. Let me see if I can show you closer. But anyway, you can browse. Lately, I will leave you the link, so you can share also with your audience. So these planes are another generation. Let's say that's what we call it, Mark II, because has nothing to do with the original Dart and the original Mini Talon and the original Orbit that the Series Z was known for at the beginning. So anyway, those planes are very interesting too to check if you're into FPV or just want a really good performing plane.
Right.
I think I realized I just
let me get
I called my plane a Mini Talon, but I think it's a Nano.
Yeah, Nano Talon. Yeah, you say a Mini Talon. But
yeah, it's okay. I didn't want to correct you. That's actually a competition. Yeah.
Oops.
I mean, I've only ever had the ZOHD stuff, so I wouldn't even know what that looked like or even care about it at the moment. So
there's so many talents in the market that even I know it's unless you're working for one of the companies, it's probably you're not going to know which one is what. But the truth is that our product is called Nano Talon.
There you go.
All right,
and that's what I have. Then
you have the Mini Talon is from XUAV. There is another company. Probably you're not going to find anyone that can even speak English to talk to, so it's okay. And no, really, to be completely honest, I mean, yeah. You will pop up the window, you see a guy there, eating rice. Definitely, no, it's completely the truth.
Oh, I was going to say, when I was writing to you via email, when you said your name was RE, and I kind of went right, because I'm sitting there going, I knew a French guy with that name. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's a French guy. Okay, sure. But after a couple of messages, I'm like, wow, his English, he has a really solid, foundation on English. Maybe this guy,
No, of course. Look, every year there's a big hobby expo in Beijing here in China, which is it's amazing. It's really good. I mean, you have all the big brands, like exhibiting with. And some of the brands, the big brands from abroad, you have E-Flight, you have the Japanese ones like Hirobo or I don't know, whatever other brands out there, and it's really massive, it's really nice, and you can see in every booth, especially the Chinese companies. Of course, there's no Westerners working there because it's China, I mean,
right?
It's another place, so. I'm one of the few. Yeah, it's not something that I feel like something special. Some Chinese companies here that they don't have any Western, also they're doing really well and they're innovating like crazy and they have a killer marketing and they have a killer image and they're doing great products and of course there's a bunch like everything else that not, but. I wouldn't say that in that sense. I think Asia has grow a lot in learning how to market their products. I think that was a key before. They have the stuff, but it always looked like it didn't have that charm. But that maybe some companies like I don't know, Horizon, to say something, right, in the West, or I don't know if I can mention it, but anyway, or E-Flight or whatever else. They have that charm, maybe for some people. But now that it's been changing since the last couple of years. You have companies like Emax. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I've actually had some of their servos.
Yeah, that's a killer company, I mean, so many companies that they're based here in China. I mean, they have their offices in the US, etc. too, but they're mainly Chinese companies, let's say. But they have a very open-minded and very they share a lot of values, with the Western world in the sense.
So GWS used to be a big company over there, and when they just started,
I used to have a Tiger moth. Yeah.
Right, there you go.
There you go.
And so when they first started marketing, Jay and I were both test pilots for GWS.
Wow. They had some killer models. I remember that.
They did, yeah.
I had a couple of them, like the P-38. That was awesome. I mean, it was a small plane, but
that one right there. That's an EDF, and it's their A4. It's sitting up there.
Yeah, I think, and the props. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a time that you cannot get any decent products except those.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just didn't keep up with the way the market was going. I think they had a lot of the same issues you were talking about. Is that the guy that we dealt with? He was in China, so we were emailing back and forth when email was dial-up network. And then we would, tell him that he said, "Oh, we have a new plane and would like to send it to you guys so that you can kind of test it and give us the feedback." But it wasn't, it took so long to get here and so long to get the information back that other companies, they just kind of jumped in there, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, all those products kind of came over. So now you were mentioning earlier about the aircraft. You said you had bigger airplanes. Do you have new lines that are coming out, or are you just going to kind of stay with what you have? Or is there like this constant flow of new stuff? And we understand you don't have to give us any information that you can't disseminate out into the public. So
no. I'll be happy to tell you the truth.
We'll promise we'll edit out anything you say that might not be. Okay. We're not going to do that. We're not going to edit out anything.
I will keep that in mind. Yeah. The truth is that we have some beautiful plans before all this mess.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah.
Like most people, Yeah. So it's like, I mean, we were toasting this new year, saying, "Man, 2020 is going to be killer." Yeah, and it was. Yeah. In a very different sense of the word. So we did have some plans. Actually, right now we're kind of in survival mode, trying to see how the things are going to play out. Because one of the things that is affecting the most is how the people is moving and how they can gather together, and fly, etc., etc. Nobody's really able, unless you live in the middle of nowhere, to go out and go to clubs and fly, etc., etc. So in some places, it's being reinforced really heavily. The thing that you can go from your house. So it's kind of killing the whole picture for this year. Even though we do have some new planes coming, hopefully we are going to be able to announce them at some point during this year. We're something that we're missing that we don't have in our lineup. It's something more like a glider style, something that can glide a little better or slope or but FPV at the same time, So we are betting actually to not smaller toy, but smaller in the lighter way of the meaning, to lighter planes and less, how to say, that looks less threatening somehow, because besides the virus, we have all this situation with the FPV rules around the world and the attack of some governments to the RC community because they don't understand exactly what we're doing and how we do it and how dangerous it is, etc. So we need to go to a corner with our products where they can cause the less possible damage in case you crash. Actually, our planes, first being mostly of them EPP, and second, most of them are lightweight. They're not going to kill anybody. We know that. But some people is feeling, that they need something that can really take to their local park, but has some performance, not just like a little toy there.
Right. And that's why you came out with the Dart 250 line, right?
Yes, exactly. That's one of the reasons that was our latest release, let's say. The Dart 250G, it's aimed to these people that they want to play safe, they want to have the full-on FPV experience with flight controllers and flight and good camera gear like HD, etc. But under 250 grams, we see a complete challenge, because it's a problem. I mean, to pack all that gear under 250 grams it's a problem. So after a lot of research and development, we came up with this little wing that it's amazing. Actually, it's one of the planes that I'm flying the most, just because it's convenient. I just toss it in the car and it's always there, and it's easy to fly, and it gives a lot of a great experience for what it is. Most people today are flying like illegal immigrants, like really worried that some. No, it's the truth. You can see their faces. They are completely paranoid, looking over their shoulders if someone is going to show up and tell them something. Which is understandable.
So Mike calls that bandit flying, like a pirate flying. It's a bandit.
Yeah, like a bandit.
Oh yeah.
So he calls it bandit flying because everybody runs out and they're just kind of secretive in the park and they're hiding behind a tree, out there flying, and then they grab their stuff, jump in the car, and go somewhere else. So Jay and I have done that as well. We've terrorized a few towns bandit flying. But we understand that.
Yeah, it happens to me.
We have parks here in Arizona that are actually designated for flying, and guys will fly FPV, the mini Talon or the nano Talons. We've actually flown in those parks. So, but they're set up for people to come out and actually fly. So we have that going for us.
Oh, but that's fantastic, and that's why America is so great, because you have those places. But to be fairly honest, most countries don't they don't have the luxury. I mean, they need to literally sneak out, like a criminal, and try to fly their pack and then run fast before the authorities arrive.
No doubt.
So yeah.
Well, what other product? I mean, we've talked about the batteries. We've talked about some of your airplanes. Are there other products that you guys carry or that we should be interested in that we can pass along?
Yes, we're working in our second flight controller. It's a unit that the first one that we launched was called Copilot and Copilot Lite. And it's basically a unit that could be very interesting for your audience because it has nothing to do with FPV, actually. I mean, it has something if you want, but it could be used on absolutely any plane. It gives you the possibility of have return to home with GPS on any plane. Especially, this was actually thought and meant to be used on planes like scale planes or warbirds, etc. You don't want any crap on your model, right? You want to keep it pristine and neat and beautiful on the plane. You don't want cables going on and stuff sticking out of the model. So this is a very small unit with very, very small. It weighs less than 21 grams. That for most of the models that you own, guys, will be like nothing. The plane will never notice that has that. It's 21 grams and will give you, in case you want, on the flick of a switch, you have a 3-position switch. You can keep it manual and you will never know that the thing is there. Then you have a second position where it gives you some 6-axis stabilization. So in case you're freaking out or something's going on with the plane, it can assist you to land it or to have maybe you're teaching someone to fly and you don't trust them too much, to crash your plane. You can turn that on and the plane will level itself. Every time they let go of the sticks, the plane will go completely straight.
So,
and the third position.
So Mike should probably put that in his L39 and let me land it.
No doubt.
It's a very good aid. And the third position, it gives you a return to home. So wherever the plane is, whether if it lost signal or you action this switch on your own, the plane will turn around, come back to you, and start circling over your head at around 70, 80 meters over your head in a 40 or 50 meters radius circle. And that's one of the features that to me are the most important. I used to have a couple even expensive EDF here, like F-35, and from, how is this company called? Well, it doesn't matter. And those are very expensive. And it's something that you don't really want to trash that easy, So having that unit on the plane, it gives me, it's an insurance, And not only for that, maybe you have a call in the middle of the field, and it's a very important call. You need to take it. You're not going to rush and try to land the plane, in a way that maybe you crash it or something. You just flick return to home. You take the call, and the plane is going to stay there. That's amazing.
No, I just take the call anyway. I don't really care about that. Get my plane back. I just take the call, let it fly away. It's okay.
So that's one of that's and it's fairly cheap. We're talking about around $50 for this complete unit, which is a nonsense. I mean, we have customers that have bought one for one of each of their planes, and some of them have more than 25 planes, and they just put in, and it's something that you have there. It's completely transparent to your current system. It's not going to affect the range or the performance of your plane at any point, and it's compatible with any V-tail, T-tail, EDF, whatever you want. I mean, except for multi-rotors, whatever thing that flies and has some kind of yaw, pitch and roll, this will do. And we are working on the second generation of this autopilot that is going to be more FPV oriented for people that want to have some on-screen display, regarding some data of the flight. But the first one, it's absolutely open for anyone that just want to have an extra layer of insurance with their model. Maybe you have some really expensive model, or maybe you don't feel confident when you're going to do a maiden. Some planes are a little more temperamental than others.
Sure.
So yeah. So you want to say, just in case I will have this thing for the maiden, I may not need it, but if I need it, I just flick the switch, and so it would be better than not having it.
Sure.
Sounds cool. It sounds like a cool thing.
We know that you set some time aside for us, and we're kind of coming up on that time, so we don't want to capture your whole day, and would like to kind of wrap it up for you. But
no, it's been really fast. I'm surprised how fast it went. I mean, that was good. Yeah.
I know it goes by really fast. I have to keep watch on the time. All right. So if they wanted to buy some of the airplanes or the Lion packs, they can go to ZOHD.net.
Yeah, we have a shop there. Yeah.
Okay. And the other website is Sonic Model, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to take a chance to give a shout out to our partners in US, Raymer RC and Get FPV in Florida. Those are. We have other shops that they are also, available to get our products. But these two are the main places. If you want to get some COHD stuff or Sonic Model stuff, those are the places to go.
Okay, perfect.
But you can totally get in touch with us. We are very active on social media, and we will point you in the right direction where to get our products, where depending on where you live, which part of the world. Yeah.
Well, we do have a worldwide audience, so wherever you are in the world, check out those two websites. AJ has been a great guest to have on for our podcast.
Sure
we'll
has.
definitely have to send you a link for where the podcast is. If you guys want to be able to use it on your site, you can do that too. It's up to you how you disrupt that.
Of course, we will repost it. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
I appreciate so much having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
not a problem.
Thank you very much, guys. You're very kind and lovely people.
Thanks. Well, it's been really great having AJ on, and we really appreciate the time that you have spent with us. So we will definitely look forward to, flying those products some more and giving a report. So if you are out there and you haven't had a chance to look at these Lion Pack batteries, go to ZOHD.net and give AJ a try.
I've always liked that dart. I like the way that wing sweeps forward like that. I've been wanting to try it, and maybe I'll do that this year sometime.
Yeah, I think Tim, we had him on last week, and I think he has a dart.
I think he has a first generation dart. So
first gen dart.
The nice part is that with the mini talon or the nano talon, excuse me. And
let's not give the bad guys the wrong guys.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want to tell them to go to competition. No, for the nano talon
exactly.
And I thought and the dart, they have generation 2, so they got rid of a couple of quirks that were in that line. For the Nano Talon, like Mike, AK Mike, I gave you I printed you out a straight wing set, so it takes that little bit of dehedral out of the wing. And they went ahead and they took that dehedral out, and the plane flies a lot better with it out. So
and that it does, because I'd flown mine with that 3D printed parts, I should say, and it works great. I mean, it flies fantastic.
So yeah.
Well, unfortunately, our hour is up.
Yet again.
Wow.
It goes by really fast. You know, I love having guests on, but man, you get rolling to talking to those guys, and I feel bad cutting them off. But I'm like, hey, man, our hour's gone. Even AJ was like, holy smokes, look how fast this went.
Well, hey, we might have to put this down in the record books, because this is our furthest interview.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he is, not only is he in the future, right? But
Space-time continuum.
A little bit ahead of us. He's talking to us from tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
Weird. Yeah, this is the farthest one we've ever had. So I will tell you that if you are in Hong Kong or Germany or wherever it is, and you have an interest of being on a podcast, promote your product, go ahead and email us at theparkflyerpodcast@gmail.com, or join our Facebook listeners group, which is the Park Flyer Podcast listeners. And that's where we actually got AJ to begin with. We started that conversation there. So it's been good having him on our podcast.
Well, we'll definitely have to have him on again, because I felt cheated, because my link to him was kind of delayed, more delayed than you two guys.
Yeah, it was a delay. Yeah, it was tough. I could hear you talking, and then he would get it like tomorrow. So.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Well, you know, we're going to leave it there, I guess. But from Michael here in Arizona.
Jay from the hills of Texas.
And AK Mike in Texas.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.